Annyeonghaseyo!
I'm Damaris Lieh.
I'm Ariel.
And we're
Soju for Two.
Okay, so next we're going to be doing a review of Moon Embraces the Sun. It ended, and this is our final thoughts.
This is such a bittersweet farewell to this drama because we really loved it and we don't want it to end, and we're very sad about that. So I'll just go through the main cast really quickly. And as we've done a lot of reviews, like as we've been watching this. Yeah. So as I mentioned before, there is a younger cast and an older cast. I'm just going to mention the older cast here. So we have Kim Soo-hoon plays Lee Won, the king. We have Han Ga-in plays Ho Yeon-woo or Wol. Young Il-woo plays Young Myung, the prince. And then Kim Min-so plays Yoon Bo-kung. And then my favorite,
smaller character.
Sung Jae-rim plays Woon.
Okay, so right away with characters,
yes.
I think that it's kind of obvious at this point that we love this drama. We love the young cast. We love the adult cast. And I think that, you know, everyone acted so well. I think in one of our, previous mentions of this weekly recaps, we talked about how this is a drama that's shot really close and like to everyone's face, and it's so. I mean, you couldn't act badly in this and get away with it.
Yeah, you can't.
You have to be really strong.
Exactly, and
to be in this.
We've had some people tell us they didn't like Kim Soo-hoon so much because he's always crying and as a character. But you know what? That's what we really loved about his character, that he was so emotional.
I felt like he had gone through so much pain.
Yeah,
and that even when he was happy or things were getting better, he was still like suffocating by that pain, and I think it was going to take a long time for him to get out of it, and I thought that seemed so believable, and actually like what would it be like, and not just because he's not always strong, and he's strong in front of others, but there are times when he had to crash, and that's why he did such a good job.
Yeah, which was also interesting because it was sort of like looking at, what it's like if you're a king, and you have to have this face into the world, but then the reality of it.
Yeah, and like all the weight and pressure, what that would do to you.
Oh, we really, really loved him.
And I think that Han Ga-in, I think she did a great job with her. I mean, I've heard people say mixed reviews as watching this about like her being the main female lead for this, and I thought she did a great job. I mean, I completely believe her. I think she's really sincere.
And we've seen her in Bad Guy and like With Hee, which we've reviewed, and we really loved her in both of those as well. But I think this is such a different role. Yeah. And, for some reason, she has really believed her character, and I thought she was just amazing.
Yeah, I think that. And then we'll talk about with
Jung Il-woo.
Okay, so I determined, and we just talked about this earlier, which is kind of funny. So I love Flower Boy Ramen Shop, and I love this. I'm pretty sure just by process of elimination that means he's my favorite K-drama actor now, because I mean he did such a great job with this tragic ending with him.
Oh my gosh, the last episode.
Yeah, so craziness. But I mean, he did such a good job of being like. You felt mixed feelings for him, and I feel like we were supposed to. Yeah. I mean, throughout the entire drama, it was like he was the right guy, he was the good guy, he was the bad guy, and then he was like a great guy. I think he's just a good actor. I mean, I know we're talking a lot about characters here, but everyone did such a good job. And the wicked people here were so wicked. Yeah. The prime minister, the grandmother, the queen. I mean, everybody. I can't find anything wrong with the characters.
And I think that, especially, you watched 20 episodes of it, and not 1 minute of it could I have left out. Like,
it was really
grabbing
good.
For everything. So
okay, so with chemistry here, obviously, it's stellar.
Amazing,
Everyone did a great job, and I love the young cast, and I can't wait to see them in more things. We know that Lee Min-ho
is going to be in the Rooftop Prince.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to see what they do, and I feel like in the next couple of years, they're all going to be wonderful. And then Love Triangle. Okay, obviously, it's like an epic love triangle.
But the thing about it that's so sad, it's like, we really love, obviously, Jung Il-woo's character, but it's like, clearly, she's always destined to end up with the king, and it's like, well, we loved him.
It's a good love triangle, though. I mean, I feel like it was a compelling love triangle.
But it's one of those ones where I don't think I had second lead syndrome, because I always wanted her to end up with the king. And I don't feel like, usually I don't feel that way, but even though I loved him,
I think it was just such a strong relationship.
It was destined to be together. Misunderstanding, mistaken identity, of course.
That's the whole point of this drama.
Literally.
Okay, it's like the biggest misunderstanding and mistaken identity because, obviously the queen or the crown princess dies. He has to get married, and then the whole time she's living without knowing her past. And then she finds out. Things work out.
It's really good. And, I think that we're going bad guy turn good, so we really don't have that with any of the characters, Yeah,
I mean, the king's surly, but I feel like he's always supposed to be surly because he's the king. I mean, you're going to have, like, a level of entitlement when you're a king.
I think he's just so, like, scarred by, like, all of the craziness that's happened in his ridiculous family, like, mostly his grandmother. But then you have, like, in the end, I mean, it's like their life seems so happy, and we're very happy to see that. Okay, so Piggyback Ride. No piggyback ride. So kisses. So there's 3 kisses in this drama, and we know this really well because I tried to make multiple videos, but NBC will not let us post it. I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, so it's really funny because it went from like no touching, like super, to like
a lot of
really
tension, but still not kissing. Good kisses.
So a couple
I definitely think this is good for historical drama kisses. I mean, I know that sometimes in historical dramas people can watch like 50 episodes and there not be like anything. So I feel like for that was all I wanted from historical drama. And
I want to mention the brother and the princess. Yeah, we didn't mention them earlier, but I think they were really good. Yeah. Characters in this, and it was surprising to me that I really liked their relationship so much.
She seemed so bratty. Yeah. She really did like I mean, she was definitely still a brat, but she definitely like brought out a new character and like the darker side of what happened to her. And I feel like she was a really sad character. Yeah. Like the queen, to me, they're kind of like creatures of what's going on around them, and maybe they didn't necessarily. I mean, like no one thinks the queen like right away thought of doing the things to Yunwo. Yunwo. Yeah, I mean, like obviously she didn't come up with that. It was her father, but she really like, got dark because of it. And I feel like it's the same thing for the princess. I mean, I don't think she wanted anyone to die, but
she really wanted
her love and craziness for the brother of Wo really like affected her. And I feel like they're interesting characters that added a lot because of like their situation.
Which is why this is one of the few shows where I really like to watch the entire show. Yeah. And sometimes I don't feel that way. Sometimes I feel like some characters I can just leave. Yeah. But I really enjoyed the extra characters in this one, especially Woon, whom I love.
He didn't get a love story. But he
didn't get a love story. I felt like he was going to have a love story with like the maid or like the sort of like her soul warrior protector, but no, it didn't happen, but I was hoping for that. That's the one thing I think I was disappointed about. Okay, so kisses, we just mentioned that. Fashion. So it's the traditional fashion. I mean, everything looked beautiful.
Yeah, I really like watching those things.
We've gotten appreciation for the traditional fashions. Music. So there's the epic song. We know that that Sohoon has a song on the original soundtrack, and there's a bunch of other singers have on the soundtrack.
So I think like warning for this though too, we need to say disclaimer, like, or spoiler alert, is like the ending is kind of sad. There are parts that are really sad in the last episodes. There's a lot of death at the end. Yes. And like prepare yourself for that. It was definitely hard. I mean, a couple main characters died
in the last episode.
Yeah. So I mean, I think things work out in a general way, but I mean, maybe it was more believable with like all the things that were going on.
Yeah, you had to kill someone off. They couldn't end like completely like.
Oh, it all wrapped up nicely.
Like a little bit. Even though it did sort of end up like that, it was.
But there was still a lot of trauma to get there.
Yeah, a lot of trauma to get there. And I think I've heard some people say they didn't like the ending. I thought that it really like there's no other way they could have done that ending. Yeah. And I think that was really a good.
You have a time leap at the end, which I always like because you like to think that things work out and more than just like the Cinderella. Then they lived happily ever after. You have no idea. I like to see a time leap. I think it gives a little more closure.
Yeah, and it felt like resolved at the end because this was one of those dramas where it was like emotional roller coaster.
We were sad,
so we weren't sure where it was going.
So rating this, okay. Well, I think we can give it at the same time.
A 10.
I mean, this is so good. Yeah. Like we talked about. I love Flower Boy Ramen Chop. I love this. I think that Boys Over Flowers is behind that. Like these are definitely this is what I want to watch. When it comes to dramas, it was so good, and I really recommend it to everyone.
Yeah, so if you've never seen a historical drama, this is where you should start. We've only seen a couple, but
we love Sung Kung Kwan, but that's a little lighter. I mean, even though that definitely has dark moments to it, it's definitely a lot lighter compared to this drama. So
we loved it, guys.
Okay, bye.
Bye.